She has had back-to-back 30 or more points in the last 2 games for the Iowa State Cyclones, and she has just been a problem. And Gina Arama said, I wish we had her on our team. That's how skilled and as much of a problem as she has created for opponents in her short 2-year career so far.
It's Crooks that wins the tap. Iowa State touches it first, and a partial Husky crowd on hand at Mohegan Sun as Brown gets up the first shot. Second chance for the Cyclones. Now, Iowa State looking for their first top 25 win of the year. Losses against Iowa and against South Carolina. And a good start for Audie Crooks.
Man, that's just so tough because I don't care what kind of attention you bring behind Crooks. She's going to lift that leg and fade that midi. It's so tough to guard her, and that's what Gina Arama was telling us after practice today.
Now the first look is a good one for Ashlynn Shade.
Ashlynn Shade, a 36% shooter from range in her sophomore season. Played a lot last year, a lot of injuries to the Huskies roster. Speaking of injuries, we had Lazy Flood out for not the long time that they thought, right? Just a sprain of the knee, so she looks spry today, and hopefully she'll be back on the floor soon for UConn.
2 looks for Shade. Both go to begin.
Yeah, solid start for UConn in that way, right? Getting a piece of the second side of the floor and making things happen from the mid-range that time for the sophomore Shade.
UConn, the most accurate shooting team in the country, shooting over 50% as a team. A perfect start with good hands for Caitlin Chen.
And Caitlin Chen right there, great deflection, and now they can push tempo the other way.
A long skip for Strong out of the corner. It's Shade one more time. Perfection! 3 of 3.
Yeah, and she just said, let's go on the way back. She just exudes toughness, and she's ready for the moment.
Well, UConn really needs a third scorer beyond Strong and Paige Bueckers. They've found it early in this game, and Audie Crooks. Chen driving kick. Shade stays sizzling.
She feels it. He's in a flow. We'd love to see that.
Shade has all 11 UConn points. Hands on Bueckers. Disruptive, but no turnover. And a couple players late rejoining the play with the point guard Ryan back in there. Takes a peek at the shot clock. It's down to 3. Crooks creates. Oh, end of the clock.
Oh my goodness, what a tangled web we weave inside. In terms of the defense that was all around Crooks, but it didn't matter at all.
Oh, come on now. Come on now. Almost to her season high before the first media timeout.
Just blustering from the outside.
The 3 won't stick for Tanky. With some pace, here comes Strong. Into Crooks, and a foul.
Yeah, just super consistent, and Paige Bueckers said the only thing that can shake her is Fortnite. To hear about the personalities of these players, they're not just statistics, right? They have journeys, they have other things that they're interested in doing off the floor, and teammates give a little ribbon here and there.
It was bound to happen eventually. Somebody other than Shade scored for UConn.
There you go.
And the first time Iowa State and UConn have played since 2010. The game won by UConn. The 1999 Sweet 16, Iowa State's only win ever. Arguably the biggest win in program history for the Cyclones. 4 on the shot clock again in the hands of Ryan. Slides in inside that. Will be looked at. I think that was a little bit late getting off.
Oh, that was very close, but what a supreme pocket pass. A dart of a dime on that one underneath on the weak side by Emily Ryan.
And it will count for Williams for now. The officials did say we're going to review that when we go to break. Bueckers triple. Got them all.
With that pitch back handoff action from the high post.
Ryan can't answer, and a rebound for Jana El-Alfi into the game for UConn. A quick closeout on Shade.
To me, to UVA with Debbie Ryan, and I remember him always going through that hair. It's really funny. But reverence by both coaches for one another and what they've been able to do in this women's basketball landscape, and to have it have this groundswell right now, and for them to be present in that moment with their respective teams, it's really fun to watch that evolve as well.
think the shot clock reset there. So ready to go again. Ashlynn Shade had the great start. It's Bueckers again, her second three.
Well, Iowa State has been sitting in a zone, right? And they may need to rethink that. And maybe they don't like the matchup because Sarah Strong can pull Crooks out of the paint. And they don't want her to be in pick and roll situations.
And so far, UConn's threes have been better than Crooks' twos.
There you go.
Here's a three, and that's off for Regan Wilson. And Crooks with all 6 for Iowa State. Ashlynn Shade, the leader for UConn, with 14. She's open again. Oh, can't leave her right now. Do you get out of the zone?
I don't think so, because then they're gonna put Crooks into pick and roll situations and pull her away from the basket. And they don't want to get her in foul trouble. So I think they're just trying to safeguard her ability to be a presence inside.
Well, that's the risk. UConn is unconscious. Well, this is the other player for Iowa State, Addie Brown, that has been the scoring complement for Iowa State. On the take, Kelsey Jones with 2.
Yeah, KK Arnold, for as on time as she was in the previous defensive possession, that time she was a beat late. And she didn't get there in time to disrupt on that second line right there at the rack.
Gino Ariema said it and shoot around a bunch. You can never be too early on Crooks. And everybody involved from out deep. This is Sarah Strong.
It's a party. From the three-point line for the Huskies, Sarah Strong faked the pass and just pulled it with confidence. Can't shake that freshman. She's just cut differently and almost got a steal.
Took the gamble. Brown took her to the rack.
And that's what happens when you lunge, but there was defense there to contest it. It wasn't a wide open look. But if you're Connecticut, you like what you have so far against this zone. They have dissected it to perfection.
Oh, Alfie can hit out there, and it rolls off. Crooks battling for it. It's Strong away with it, and a foul plus the basket. And got all 3 on that trip.
Yeah, I had a chance to work with her at the Under Armour Elite 24. Same with Ashlynn Shade as well. They're both on my teams in their respective summers before coming to the collegiate level, and they're just cut differently in terms of their discipline.
Shade has the rebound. Did Shade shoot like this?
She did. And
when you saw her?
She was always inquisitive, too.
Oh, Alfie ran the floor. Left it short.
Yeah, it was so much fun. It's like 3 or 4 days, but it was just a great way to meet the people and to see who they are as players.
Crooks back out. 3 thuds and tapped away off the Jones miss by Arnold. So UConn in this first quarter, 9 of 10 from 3. Iowa State still looking for their first 3.
9 of 10, yeah. Connor. From range against this zone, and they've been able to get it to that sweet spot right at the nail, that free throw line area.
Again. Oh, yeah!
To see this kind of performance. 10 of 11 from 3 for the Huskies.
Final seconds of the quarter. That 3 is off. Kelsey Jones and Iowa State without a 3 in the first quarter.
Quite the display by UConn out of the gates here, and we'll see if there's a defensive adjustment by Iowa State.
A week removed from their biggest non-conference test. There's Shade. Oh, the first miss.
Well, they went player to player there. It's man-to-man defense by Iowa State out of that break for the quarter. We'll see how long they stay in that or if they mix it up.
Well, hustle for the loose ball. Strong right at the back of Brown. So that chews up about 10 seconds this possession. Back into Crooks. Falling, leaning, and scoring.
And her flick of the wrist is so pretty. She has great hands. She fades back just far enough to get that release point over the contested hands of your opponent. And it's just so tough to guard.
Bueckers bags another.
Kind of a hopscotch during her career.
Oh, Ryan tight finish the rim.
And that's what Iowa State needs to do more of.
Bueckers running, reversing.
To see what you can create.
Well, Ryan can do some of that off the bounce to the mid-range.
Yeah, she can definitely do that. The senior, 5'11", solid assist maker. 7 assists a game for her. this season. She was leading the country in assists prior to that Iowa game. It was a 2-point loss.
Nice shot fake for Ice Brady.
Nice patience and composure right there. Didn't get sped up with the presence of the defense in the paint. Great footwork. Affords great shots inside.
2 minutes gone in the second quarter. UConn still shooting 65%. And the Cyclones have found offense with their point guard.
The three-point play.
Hansford has a hand in the face of Bueckers. Tight off the screen.
But she got tagged a little bit.
Hansford on her back hip there.
Yeah, I thought she reached over.
Not looking like she's shot hunting with Brady out on her. So she takes her into the posts and hands on. Foul on Brady. Gets a big hands with everything she's done tonight. She checks out.
As she should.
Oh, nice athletic play for Strong, who goes coast to coast.
Yeah, as a freshman.
Sankey gives it up. 3 for Harris. Got it.
That's what they can do. They can knock down those threes to relieve some pressure.
And Bueckers.
You know, motioning my hands like Gino does. You know, he pinches all of his fingers to his thumb together. See, there he is. I'm always talking with his hands. I love it. But he had his hands together. Like, what do? You know, 29 points from 3, 22 points from Crooks. Like, what kind of gamble can you take defensively? Ice Brady was out there, so Crooks had to make her way, even though she didn't get there in time to contest that shot.
Another 3. And Wilson was right there with her, dissuaded her from that. So it's Arnold instead. And a foul.
They have the baton right now, and they're in a full sprint, and I love it.
And Kiki Irfin, part of that group
Yes.
too for USC. So you get 3 preseason All-Americans in the same game on Fox Saturday night in Hartford. And Crooks.
She doesn't need to see, but a couple of them go in until she is automatic.
Paige Bueckers fires again. Her first miss from 3. And to come back in this game, Iowa State might need Crooks to have a night like that. Go for 40 or so.
They got to find her. She's got to get down into her wheelhouse right in front of the rim.
Well, they found outside shooting from Harris, her third of the quarter.
Well, here we go. That's what I said. Those threes. It's a 9-0 run now for the Cyclones.
Shade. Not here. That's newsworthy.
4 eyebrows are up between the two of us. Because I just said, can they sustain those threes? And here comes Iowa State.
And the shots are starting to fall.
With Iowa State dropping in their fair share of triples at this juncture.
Bueckers to the mid-range. She wants her first of the year.
Okay.
Won't get it here.
Got to go down in the paint.
Not the area of the court.
Not right now. And not to say you can't, but just right now you need a high percentage shot.
Strong can do it from out there.
Just solidly consistent.
KK Arnold, foot on the gas. Nobody in the rear view.
Yeah, easy peasy.
That was intimidating, just that description from you.
Yeah. Look, she just took it and straight to the rack for an easy deuce in transition. Gino Auriemma side for the entire tenure here. Got right in there to blow it up.
Well, UConn has played about as clean of a half as you could expect, shooting over 50%, just 2 turnovers, and now working in the final 5 seconds. It's Bueckers, open for a 3. Ashlynn Shade stole the show early, 20 points in the first quarter. Teammates joined the party in the second, and a big lead for the Huskies.
That 11-0 run by Iowa State, Paige Bueckers came knocking back on that door and said, I'm still here. And pushed that momentum in the favor of UConn headed into that halftime locker room.
PB with the J, Eaton in the shade.
Let's go. Yeah.
UConn has it first to start the second half, and it's Bueckers right away. Missed down to Crooks. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, let's see what Iowa State came up with as an offensive adjustment here. Maybe to get Crooks a couple more touches down inside. A little wall screen there at the elbow, and then trying to isolate her in there. Yep.
And she powers in and a foul.
So let's play percentages at this point. And let's play the possibility, and that's the challenge for both teams.
Because inkling might be you're down big, you got to drill a bunch of threes, but not with Crooks inside.
No, you got to go with singles You don't need a home run triple every time down. Get the ball inside to your high percentage star in Crooks and let her go to work.
Iowa State's been ranked a lot of the year. UConn looking for another resume builder. An even 20 points for both Shade and Bueckers. Crooks left it on the front of the rim.
She's not going to miss many of those, but she tried to adjust her shot because she felt the defense coming behind her.
Well, this was a 5-on-4 for UConn, and they end up converting anyway with Strong.
3 defenders in there, but 11 championships for UConn. Yes, they've had a lot of top players wear that uniform with UConn across the chest for sure.
Strong runs the floor, fills the lane, banks it home.
In transition like that.
That won't sit for Emily Ryan, who had foul trouble in the first half with 3. Lob, Strong catch, and couldn't put it home on the fancy one. So Strong has a chance with a couple of more points
of offensive beauty. That is. Other than playing Snoop Dogg, Bam is playing that.
All right.
Dog count.
If we can build it with that in the back, I'm in. There's Ryan with the layup for the Cyclones. We'll workshop it.
We will.
Bueckers, another one.
Just smooth as silk for Paige Bueckers from range. Just effortless ability to knock in those threes. All right, now 5 of 7 from range for Paige.
Only a matter of time before later this year she joins the 2,000-point club. And there's a 3 for Jackson.
Iowa State wants to strike from the outside in transition when they have opportunities, and that time was an opportune time to strike it.
Well, nice screen for Brady. Led to her getting fouled. And XL. Oh, stay free for Bueckers. Off the Brooks handoff. Ryan right back into her. Has deep position and backpedaled her way in.
And she traveled with it.
Not the full chair pull, but just a half, right?
The lawn chair had a creak in it.
It was wobbling.
Yeah, it got stuck in the mud down in there a little bit.
It's a race right now to be the leading scorer for UConn. 3 players with 20 points. Man,
it's just phenomenal balance they've been able to display in this game.
And Bueckers 25, Shade 20, Strong with 21. Another one for Strong. Another hit.
24 of them. And right now she has half of that midway through the third.
Patty Brown cashes in. Yeah, to your point, Christy, the attention that UConn placed on stopping Crooks tonight. They got 50 minutes allowed to be on the floor before the game for Brown. I'd say, I don't know, 35 to 40 of those minutes.
Oh, easily. Easily. Definite focal point.
Strong has caught fire. Our graphics team was persuaded by you.
They were persuaded by me, yeah.
Crooks scored.
Nice little beat, gets your feet tapping.
Homework, post-game. The Atomic Dogs.
Yeah, Atomic Dogs. Make it stick. Put it on a t-shirt. Give me some NIL.
It's a movement.
Residuals. Who are still learning what to do in terms of adjustments. What Iowa State likes to do.
Well, and they've challenged themselves. We don't really know what the Big 12, what it's going to be and how Iowa State fits in yet.
Right, and they're going to have to figure that out as they go. But again, they're a young team that understands that in order to get where they got last year, they're going to have to play through moments like this, right? You go through things to get to things, and that's what they're working on. She's just so solid with her skill set.
And Shade has not scored since her 20-piece in the first quarter. And the clock runs out on UConn. 27-point game.
You leave them on the court and make them do it again. Right. Well, you see who can do it, and then you rotate players in there. Can we get 5 consecutive stops? Or at least 3? and score off of them.
Make it a game in a way.
Make it a game within the game.
Now Shade back on the board.
That was Shade shooting.
Got to get creative to guard Crooks.
Yeah. I wish that rule was in place when I played. It was one point of contact. It was tough down in there.
How many more points would you score?
Against Crooks?
No.
Oh, just in general?
Yeah.
Oh, it would have been
2,000.
It would have been a little more. A couple more. It was fun times, but it was physical.
Shot clock's off. Final 10 seconds of the third.
Double drag action by UConn and a pop by Strong off of it.
On the take, past Crooks. Count another one for Strong.
A thing of beauty. 20 made buckets, so highly efficient and effective for both teams. But when you're looking at the turnovers, it's 9 turnovers for Iowa State, just 5 for UConn. So, right, if your team's shooting well, you're not going to have a lot of cracks at second chance opportunities, right? Just makes sense. On the interior, the 28-18 advantage in paint points.
For Strong, this ends up with Brady on a handoff for Paige Bueckers. Taking with the left and cruises to the rim.
Oh my goodness.
Hypnosis, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. In the most beautiful basketball way.
She's out to contest a three that rains in for Jackson. 10 on the shot clock. Back in the hands of Chen. Drive, draws 2. Shade sets the feet and hits another.
Shade, another sophomore star for the Huskies.
Take away. 2-on-2. Chen sprints up the floor and bounces it home.
Actually was. If I could have had long arms, I could, save myself.
Crooks bangs one home.
Line on the floor, but once she gets you down in there, that's lights out.
Oh, long cut for Shade. Had deep position. Couldn't get it into her. Still looking that way. Late in the shot clock. Brown looks in again. It's the opposite block that they go to.
Crooks, they were disallowed because of the defense that UConn was playing up the line, just haunting.
Oh, Chen was hiding out.
I mean, it was phenomenal to watch.
The crowd was riding on every single shot Shade took in that first quarter. And UConn has been in control ever since that first basket.
And so was I. I mean, I was leaning on you because she was unconscious, and she was in such a supreme level of zen every time she caught it. And just her mechanics were the same every shot.
For that flow state, right?
Yeah, right there.
Right there. Well, Alfie.
Being an issue the last couple of seasons, and again, Izzy Fudd on the precipice of returning for the Huskies soon. And her dad, Tim Fudd, they're probably in the building somewhere, but Coach GTS Fusion, AAU program.
Everybody hitting.
They need to find other ways to complement Crooks offensively and take some of that pressure off of her too. I mean, I'm sure she wants it because she's a competitor. It's not like she's asking for relief in that way, but when teams like UConn come with some stout defensive energy, you got to find another way to score.
And Shelley connects from long range.
Plateau there, 23s.
Harris, deepest one of the night, bags that.
Viable piece to the puzzle in terms of experience for the Cyclones moving forward in this one.
Now Harris is at 5 threes tonight.
Such a great matchup with Paige and Juju in that one, but a compliment for both teams, right? It's not just those two, and I understand that just understand the game and are selfless in their understanding of the game. They know it's a team effort, right? Test your wares. Iron sharpens iron when it comes to those kinds of things. And you want to play against the best, and that's what is also going to help this Iowa State team. Right, playing against this UConn team that presented many challenges on both sides of the floor.
South Carolina and UConn on the non-conference schedule, and something to take with them into the Big 12. That will do it, UConn. Wire to wire. led by Shade, Bueckers, and Strong, win at 101-68 over Iowa State.